All right, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of Dan Talks Football, and I'm actually live at Hollywood Casino. Now, I can't film inside the casino. I'm not exactly sure the rules and regulations, but I'm making this from my car. It's about ready to walk in. For some reason or another, I'm not able to deposit funds into the Barstool app, so I'm going to make a couple bets here live at the casino. When I finish up, I'm going to come back and I'll show you the bet slips. The Chargers, Houston Texans, the over-under should be, yeah, I want under. Yeah, I want the under. Yeah, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, brother. At least I hope so. Yeah, 100 on each. Yup, that's what I got. All right, sounds good. Oh, here, does this help? Okay, I'm in. All right. And when's soonest I can pick up the winnings if I'm lucky enough to win? All right, it sounds good, brother. Thanks a lot, man. All right, so that's basically all it is. It's kind of rocking here, to be honest with you. It's kind of cool. I got my bets here. I'm going to have some fun here at the casino, and I'll release this video later on. I don't know if I get in trouble for this or not, but I think it's kind of cool what they got here. Never been in Hollywood Sportsbook before. They got some couches here, got a lot of the games on. It's too late to go ahead and place bets, I believe. But it's a pretty kind of neat environment here. So if you are in the Kansas City area and want to put some action down, it's a pretty cool place. All right, so I went ahead and placed my bets. I got the bet slips in my pocket. When I get home, I'm going to show the bet slips, and I'm going to show you what I bet, because unlike a lot of people that talk the talk, I walk the walk. I actually show you what I put my money down on. I'll see you soon. All right, so I'm live here with Denver Gator, and Denver Gator's been red hot. He's 5-2-1 for the year, and last week he ended up being 1-1. We both liked the Colts, but like a dummy, I didn't take his advice and put some action on Green Bay. Now, he has 3 games he's avoiding. The first game is Minnesota in against New Orleans. It's a London game. Denver Gator, why are you avoiding this one?
Well, you got 2 mediocre teams traveling all the way across the pond, and it's just going to be an early game for everybody to watch. There's not going to be much excitement. You never know what goes on in London.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I definitely think it's a game to avoid. Another game you don't like is Arizona at Carolina. Carolina's 1.5-point favorite. Why are you passing on this one?
Neither team has showed me that they deserve to win. They're not winning early like they're used to. Carolina, their offensive line is just trash, and Baker Mayfield's not the answer. Sam Darnold's not the answer. They're on trajectory to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. So those are 2 teams that I have no interest in, just because there's no value in them.
Yeah, I agree again completely with you. I was tempted to take Arizona as a 1.5-point dog, but I think that they have more injuries than Carolina, so I'm avoiding this one. Final game you don't like is Chicago at the Giants.
Almost the same reason why I didn't want to watch the other game. Is these are just 2 teams. I mean, the Giants, give them credit. They're playing with heart, but they're not playing with talent. They're playing at home. They're favored, but I just don't see how either team is going to be any good. Like, this is a hard one. Just I don't know. I just don't think these 2 teams are really good. I don't think the Bears are good at all. This is a game I'm going to avoid. It's a coin flip for garbage.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not really fond of this one. Now, before we reveal the 2 games you do like, you do have a game that you call it your upset pick. Denver at the Raiders. The Raiders are a 2.5-point home dog. Who do you like?
Okay. Normally, I'm going to always go Broncos. But you got to remember, when you're betting, you don't bet with your heart. You bet with the numbers. You bet with statistics. You bet with patterns. You bet with your mind. You don't bet with your heart. And you especially don't bet. They're away in a division game, and especially against the Raiders. I would stay away from this, but I'm picking the Broncos to upset the Raiders because I think the Broncos defense is legit, and I think Russell Wilson and the offense are going to start making things click, and it's going to start looking like a different game. But don't bet with your heart, bet with your mind, bet on patterns, statistics, and gather information, but never bet on your heart because you're just going to you're setting yourself up for a double loss. If your team loses and you lose money, that's game over. That's just heartbreaking.
I completely agree with you. When it comes to sports betting, always bet with your head. Don't bet with your heart. So Denver Gators passing on betting on his home team. Now, he has 2 games that he likes. What's the first one?
First one I like the Cowboys in Washington. Or Washington at Cowboys, I should say.
Cowboys are 3.5-point favorite. You like money line, or is Dallas going to cover 3.5 with the backup?
I think Dallas is going to cover by double digits. I definitely think they're going to cover. Maybe not double digits. They might cover by like 7 to 8. But yeah, this Dallas defense is nasty, and Washington is giving up a lot of sacks to a very mediocre quarterback in Carson Wentz. They're going to eat his lunch, and they're playing in Jerry World with a pretty competent backup. The Cowboys are not a great team, but they're a way better team than Washington.
All right. Now, what's the other game you like?
I like the Chiefs at Tampa. Tampa is a home favorite, but Tampa's got a lot of issues going on, not just on the team. We're all aware of how Tampa is struggling offensively. You know, their defense is okay. They're keeping them in games, keeping games closer. But Tom Brady's just looking broken down. That offensive line is just getting him killed, and he's not used to it. And, you know, he's got some key wide receivers out, you know, the injuries on the offensive line. So they're favored because they're in Tampa and they're Tom Brady, but there's a major hurricane going through there right now. And I lived in Florida. I lived in Central Florida for about 10, 11 years, and I lived in the panhandle of Florida in Pensacola for about 12 years. So I've dealt with hurricanes most of my life. And when a hurricane comes through, especially one of the impact that this one had, you're talking about like all sources, all hands on deck. Everybody's worried about the city, the fire department, the police department. You can't buy anything from a grocery store or a retail store because nothing's on the shelves. And it's total panic and gathering materials. So the focus is more on taking care of the city and the people that are living there than they are focused on the game. I think there's too much outside noise that can't be avoided to pick Tampa in this. Any other week, I think Tampa, would definitely be the favorites because they are Tampa. But there's a lot going on in Central Florida right now, and it's not pretty.
You got one other game that you're on the fence about. Which one is that?
Oh, I'm on the fence about Seattle at Detroit. And the reason why I'm really on the fence about it is because people are betting a lot on Seattle. And Detroit seems like that team that's always going to claw and fight their way to the top. You know, they need to learn how to close out a game. They need to learn how to play with the lead instead of playing far behind and then catch up ball. I'm leaning towards the Lions because I think they're a way better team than Seattle, and they just lost to the Falcons. So I'm assuming that the Lions are a way better team than the Falcons, and I don't see Seattle going into Detroit and beating them. So I'm curious about the line, the 4.5. You see the hook, that 0.5 has destroyed more bettors than ever.
6, and it's dropped as of right now, as we're talking, it's now 4. It's gone from Detroit being a 6-point favorite to now they're a 4-point favorite. And with you. It's a 2-point drop. Lots of people are putting
the Sharps. The Sharps seem to be on Seattle for some weird reason. I can't get my head around it.
Because I think Detroit wins this game. I feel confident about that, but again, they have to figure out how to close games out. They're up by 10 with half quarter left. I thought they should have won the game against Minnesota. How they do, this is going to be an interesting game. So I'm going to pass on this one, just like you. And guys, hey, Denver Gator, thanks for joining us. And we're going to be back next week with our predictions.
Good luck, everybody.
What I did here is I put some sticky notes just to kind of protect myself. But you heard me at the betting window. I took under 45 for the Chargers Texans. And then what I did is that Steelers are a 3.5 point favorite at home against the Jets. I just took the money line. I bet 100 to win 52. I think the Steelers win. I'm not sure about covering 3.5. If I could take 2.5 or less, I decided just to go with the money line, just take an easy victory. I do have one more game I like, and that's the Rams at San Francisco. San Francisco's won 6 straight against the Rams during the regular season. I think that streak ends. Right now, the line is at 2 as I'm releasing this video. It was at 2.5. The Rams were actually a 2.5 point underdog. That was a half point. Right now it's 2. I do like the Rams, and I'm also thinking about taking Kansas City. They are currently a 1 point dog, but I haven't put those bets down yet. I've had some issues with the app that I'm going to share with you here. So I've used the Barstool app several times, and I had no problem, but this week I tried to make deposit, and I've had some issues, so I messaged tech support, and I'm putting their answer here on the screen with you because now keep in mind, if you're like myself living in the state of Kansas, this has only been up and running for a month, and I'm sharing this with you because you can see tech support's answer. This happens to 10 to 15% of players. This is a very high number, and this is something I'm sure Barstool will get resolved. Like I said, it's only been up and running for a month, but if you're like myself and you've had some problems, you're not alone. I don't know exactly when this issue will be resolved. Before I made this section of the video, I went ahead and clicked on that link. It's a pretty simple process. You just send them a selfie with your driver's license, and they tell you that the issue will be, resolved. I haven't gone back and checked, so I don't know when it'll be resolved. If it's resolved before Sunday, I will deposit some money into Barstool and do some in-game betting. I may take Kansas City, and if the issue's still ongoing by Sunday, I'll wait till Monday and then go to the casino and place a bet for Monday Night Football, and I'll make a separate video for that. Now, before I go, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, like the video, share this video, and drop a comment below with what game you're betting on for week 4 in the NFL, and I'll see you next week.